Big drama at Liverpool today. A legend calls out Arne Slot and Mohamed Salah after another poor display. Klopp's £9.5 million sale is now outperforming both Salah and Wirtz this season. And Virgil van Dijk sends a powerful message about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Let's go through everything one by one. Firstly, Arne Slot and Mohamed Salah called out as Liverpool legend slams desperate Reds. Liverpool legend Steve Nicol has slammed his former club as desperate as he took issue with some of Arne Slot's decision-making in the Reds' defeat to Chelsea. Estevao scored a 95th-minute winner for the Londoners to inflict a third successive defeat on the Premier League champions in all competitions. Having seen Arsenal beat West Ham United earlier in the day on Saturday, Liverpool's latest loss saw them surrender top spot in the table to the Gunners. However, they had initially looked set to rescue a share of the spoils against Chelsea before their stoppage-time winner, having seen Cody Gakpo cancel out Moises Caicedo's opener. Slot made full use of his maximum 5 substitutions against the Londoners, making attacking changes as he sent on Florian Wirtz for Connor Bradley at halftime with Curtis Jones and Andy Robertson then coming on for the injured Ibrahima Konate and Milos Kerkez in the 55th minute. Hugo Ekitike then replaced Alexander Isak in the 74th minute, before Slot prompted raised eyebrows in some sections when using his last change to send on Wataru Endo for Alexis Mac Allister in the 86th minute. Such a decision ultimately backfired with Estevao scoring the winner 10 minutes later, while Liverpool were left with the likes of forward Federico Chiesa and used on the bench. Given the changes throughout the game, the Reds ended up with both Dominic Szoboszlai and Ryan Gravenberch playing in defense in the second half. And Nicol gave his verdict on such changes as he called his former side setup shambolic and accused them of playing desperation football before singling out Mohamed Salah for criticism. The goal comes because Robertson had just done 100 yards, he said on ESPN. Robertson had just run from his penalty box and come back. He had his hands on his knees because he was gasping for air. That's why they get the goal. You could have stuck anybody in a blue jersey on at the end of that game going forward. Liverpool were in absolute shambles by the end. Endo, in my opinion, wasn't brought on to take the point. Mac Allister was knackered, that's why Endo came on. This wasn't some sort of tactical move because from the minute Endo came on to the last whistle, Liverpool were charging forward like it was a cavalry challenge. They're just playing desperation football. They're desperate. How can you turn an 11 into what Liverpool finished with? 2 of your 3 midfielders are playing in the back line. You've taken your left back off. You're stuck in a left back on who's never going to be able to stick with Estevao or anybody else or Neto or anybody. I mean, it's just this by the end of the game, it's a shambles. You turn your midfield into your defense. You turn your defense into people going forward. Your front 3, including Mo Salah, who right now couldn't hit a barn door if he was standing in front of it. Mo Salah is suffering more than anybody because of the fact that Liverpool cannot keep the ball. Mo Salah is not your normal football player. This is a player who stands on it, gives it away but he scores goals. And he's always been the same. Right now there's one piece of those 3 missing. And that's the goals. The biggest problem is Liverpool cannot play 3 passes among themselves together. There are so many things going wrong and it comes down to basics. He continued, Arne Slot has to look at the big picture here. Liverpool, yet again, were not half the side they were last year. Liverpool, again, were guilty of coughing the ball up. Liverpool, again, were guilty of getting run though in the middle of the park. They were guilty defensively of not defending properly. There are so many things that were wrong with Liverpool, that have been wrong with them since the season started, not just today's game. He's clinging on to a couple of chances that were half chances. There's not one chance in that game today when you're saying Liverpool should score. The truth of the matter is Chelsea were the better side and Liverpool were miles off it. Klopp sold Liverpool star for £9.5 million, now he's outperforming Salah and Wirtz. It is fair to say that Liverpool would have expected more from their big money signings than what they have seen so far on the pitch across all competitions. Alexander Isak was brought in for a £125 million British record transfer from Newcastle United to bolster their attack, but his only goal so far came against Championship side Southampton in the League Cup. It is fair to say that Liverpool would have expected more from their big-money signings than what they have seen so far on the pitch across all competitions. Alexander Isak was brought in for a £125 million British record transfer from Newcastle United to bolster their attack, but his only goal so far came against Championship side Southampton in the League Cup. Isak off the mark. pic.twitter.com/utlx8 Armos, Liverpool FC, at LFC, September 23, 2025. The Sweden international did assist Cody Gakpo's goal in the 2-1 defeat to Chelsea on Saturday, although some may argue that it was a miscontrol rather than a deliberate touch for the Dutchman. Jeremy Frimpong, signed from Bayer Leverkusen, has started one Premier League match this season and was an unused substitute against the Blues at Stamford Bridge. Milos Kerkez has not hit the ground running at Anfield since his move from Bournemouth, but he has, at least, started all 7 of the club's league matches under Arne Slot. One player who does need to step up with more moments of quality at the top end of the pitch is £115 million signing Florian Wirtz in the attacking midfield position. Why Liverpool need more from Florian Wirtz? The Germany international was a bona fide superstar for Leverkusen in the 2023-24 and 2024-25 campaigns, delivering 34 goals and 33 assists in the 2 seasons combined, per SofaScore. Wirtz produced consistent quality in the final third as both a scorer and a creator of goals for Leverkusen, as shown in the incredible clips in the footage above. Unfortunately, though, Liverpool are yet to see the best of the 22-year-old attacking midfielder since his big-money move to Anfield, which was a club record signing before the Isak deal went through later in the window. Wirtz has yet to deliver a goal or an assist for the Reds since he set up Hugo Ekitike for his goal in the Community Shield loss to Crystal Palace at the start of the season. The German playmaker has, though, been unfortunate not to register an assist or 2 in the Premier League and the Champions League this term with the chances that he has created for the team. As you can see in the table above, Wirtz has created 3 big chances and 18 chances in total in 9 appearances in those 2 competitions, which is an impressive return. However, his teammates have been too wasteful with the chances that he has created, such as when his impressive flick fell Mo Salah's way against Chelsea, just for the winger to blaze the ball over the bar. Wirtz does need to improve when it comes to carrying a threat as a goalscorer, though, as his record for Leverkusen suggests that he is much better than he has shown in English football to date. With the struggles that Liverpool have had at the top end of the pitch this season, with their new signings and the players they already had, it must be frustrating to see one of their former attackers shining. The Reds sold Xherdan Shaqiri to Lyon in the summer of 2021 for a fee of around £9.5 million, after he had been a solid rotation player for the club for several years. Since leaving Anfield, the Switzerland international has played for Lyon, Chicago Fire, and Basel. He is currently on fire in his home country, playing like Salah and outperforming Wirtz. Why Liverpool may rue selling Xherdan Shaqiri? The left-footed star produced 8 goals and 9 assists in 63 matches for Liverpool, per Transfermarkt, whilst typically playing as a substitute because of Salah's form in his position. Shaqiri returned to Basel, the club he started his career with, in the summer of 2024 and is now playing like he is the Egypt international with his terrific output in the final third over the past 18 months or so. Salah ended the 2024-25 campaign with a haul of 34 goals and 23 assists in 52 appearances in all competitions, and has started this season with 3 goals and 3 assists in 10 appearances, per Transfermarkt. Shaqiri, who was described as a powerful player by writer and analyst Kai Watson, did his best impression of the Liverpool number 11 in his first season back at Basel last season. The experienced forward ended the campaign with an eye-catching return of 21 goals and 22 assists in 39 appearances in all competitions for the Swiss side, which shows that he was almost as influential as Salah as both a scorer and a creator of goals. Not only is the left-footed star playing like Salah, the former Liverpool star is also outperforming Wirtz in the current campaign with his output at league level for Basel, albeit in a different division to the Premier League. As you can see in the table above, Shaqiri has provided 7 goals and assists in 7 Super League matches for his club, whilst the German attacking midfielder is still looking for his first goal contribution in the Premier League for Liverpool. Whilst the Switzerland international's form for Basel does not mean that he would be the answer to the club's current issues at the top end of the pitch, as he is playing outside of the top 5 leagues in Europe, it does suggest that he still has something to offer. Shaqiri was a useful player, as shown by his aforementioned output in limited minutes, for the Reds and could have still been a solid option as a backup to Salah, which would have been helpful with how Wirtz and Isak have started their Anfield careers. Therefore, Liverpool may rue that they only sold him for £5 million when they look at what he is currently achieving in comparison to the players. Virgil van Dijk sends strong Liverpool message and makes Trent Alexander-Arnold denial. Virgil van Dijk says Liverpool should not lose sight of their status as Premier League champions, as the captain called for perspective after a damaging week. The Reds slipped to their third successive defeat on Saturday as Chelsea won 2-1 at Stamford Bridge courtesy of Estevao Willian's stoppage-time winner. That result came after the 1-0 loss at Galatasaray in the Champions League on Tuesday night and last weekend's 2-1 reverse to Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Van Dijk admits the level of turnover in the playing staff this season means a tough adaptation period was always anticipated inside a new-look camp, as he urged everyone at Anfield to remember how they romped to the title by 10 points last term. "It was always going to be a difficult season," Van Dijk said. "I mentioned it from the very start already. We have to go through this as one, not only us as players but also the staff and our fans who celebrated being champions, which is something we shouldn't forget. It was a quite open game, of course, in the second half especially. Both teams trying to go for the win, and to concede like that is obviously not a great feeling, especially going into the international break. We got results, definitely, we found a way. It is a bit ironic that we concede in two different games in the last minute. There is still plenty of work to do. We know in football, every 3 or 4 days, things can change and momentum can change. But we have to work to get there first. The 7-8 days have been tough for all of us, but we are the ones, together with the staff and the fans, who can turn this around. I'm confident of that. It is about us seeing that perspective as players and staff. I want the fans to also see that perspective as well. But we live in a world where there is so much noise going on, and you have to deal with that as well. It is down to us to keep working, find results, stick together, and find confidence. We need to do what we were doing last year, when everyone was so happy. Now we have a little bit of a tough moment, which can change pretty quickly, but we have to work for it. That is something we realize, and we need to do it all together, as we always have been doing over these years, especially when I've been here at the club, because there have been some ups and downs. That is the only way out of it. It sounds a bit simple, but that is the only way to do it. Let's go for it. No fan of us wants to come here and lose and go home and feel disappointed. So we have to keep going and stick together. Van Dijk also denied the departure of Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid has had an impact, adding, "It's not about him. He had amazing quality, but he left us. Last year, we played a lot of games without him as well. Obviously we were all gutted that he left in the summer, but that is not the issue. How we work, it happened all season last year, and everything was positive and everyone was happy, and now we have a little blip, if you want to call it like that, and now we need everyone more than ever to support us and be there for us. It is not that easy, to sum up the problems. Obviously, new players adjusting plays a part as well, but that shouldn't be the only focus. It is a combination of everything. It is down to us to work to turn this around and find consistency, to not concede goals, to score goals, to create, to not give up chances against us. How we work, it happened all season last year, and everything was positive and everyone was happy, and now we have a little blip, if you want to call it like that, and now we need everyone more than ever to support us and be there for us. Like I said, every 3 or 4 days is another opportunity, after the international break now, to find that momentum and consistency, and keep it. I've been at the club for such a long time, there have been many difficult situations and we got out of them. It's not for everyone to just accept it and move on, but the only thing we can do is focus on the next opportunity we have and work on it. Obviously now everyone goes to different countries and everyone has the responsibility to try and stay fit and do well. But when we come back, we have a very big game against Manchester United where I am already very much looking forward to it. It's an opportunity again to show what we have been showing last year throughout the whole season. That is the reason we became champions and made so many people around the world happy. Now we need the chance to get to that point again, and work is the basis to it, finding consistency and sticking together.